Yeah. Well, yeah, thank you guys all for coming. We're super excited for getting started this year. First meets Friday, 6 p.m. Everybody be there. Um, should be good. It's again a very exciting time with a lot of. We had a really good summer. Ilya highlighted that, winning 2 Olympic medals. But have a very talented team, a very deep team. Um, that yeah, it's deep, but it's also really young. Like we have our freshman class is one of the most talented classes we've really ever had, um, and really wide variety in that of events they swim. So it's yeah, and it's an exciting time with some success, well, a lot of success last year, and the doors open really for a lot of people to step up and become major contributors to this team. But yeah, I guess what questions do you guys have?
We'll open it up to questions if you could introduce yourself or Coach Ilya, just so they know who to talk to. Go ahead, Logan.
Hey, Coach, Logan there on Republic. I was wondering, was there any impact in terms of interest at the school after the visibility ASU got during the Paris Olympics after being performing?
Oh yeah, yeah, we're blowing up in Canada and Europe right now. But yeah, it's certainly like there's a ton of really talented people. It's crazy because just the name of ASU is pretty well recognized everywhere now, which hasn't always been the case. But Ilya and a lot of people have contributed to that.
How do you reflect on your Olympic experience and everything that went into it, winning the medals, the emotions of that, and now that you've had a few weeks to
I still like sometimes I just like sit in my apartment and I'm just like, wow, like that really happened. Like I just like remember like at the staging camp in France, like when I would just like visit, because I visited some beaches and stuff, and I'm like, wow, like I actually was there. I was like looking back at the photos, and I'm like, dude, that's crazy. And it's like such like an honor to be there, representing a country and just performing at that stage is absolutely crazy. I loved it. It did take me some time to actually like, wow, like I actually was there, because at that moment at the Olympics, I didn't really think of it as a big deal because, or else I like would have maybe performed differently and like maybe like overthought or something. But like now that like I was like, wow, like I just like because my medals are up on my wall, so I'm just like, wow, that's that's so cool that I achieved that. But yeah, the preparation before it, me and coach, we were just going through the motions each race, um, and it was just a blast, over the summer to be here and train for that. But it was amazing. I loved it.
And how is it also to see the success carrying him on and having this
Oh, it was, I didn't think, sorry, I didn't think that he was going to do bad at all. I only had high hopes for him, and the fact that he did that, like especially the double, the two fly, two breast, it was absolutely insane to see that. I'm just really proud of him.
Jordan to our right.
Jordan Ham, Sports 360 AZ. Coach, just how has it been this offseason taking over the program and having that high standard and trying to build off of that?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been busy. There's a lot more meetings and stuff, and just constantly things to do. But it's been exciting with seeing how the teams responded to that, and it's something that I think we've all always thought of it as more of a community and everybody's involvement in this team, because it's like our team's culture is kind of what's most important to us and just how we do things. And having that be tested a little bit when there's some major change in that, and a change in leadership and kind of who's the one totally in charge, but seeing the team kind of double down on that it's like kind of all of us and all of us working towards the same goal, and that's so much more than one person or a couple people. And I think this has been the best the team's ever been in terms of how we just kind of work together and how we're growing. And I think in the long run, it's one of the best things I think could have possibly happened. And yeah, there's still a lot of work to do, and it's constant. It's never gonna stop. It'd be nice if it slows down a little bit. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how this first meet goes and this whole season, because now it's like, I mean, literally something that I think is run by the team as much as it is the coaches. And it took years to get to this point, and now I think it's just the beginning of something which is going to be really exciting.
Ryan, right in the center.
Ilya, you mentioned kind of having not feeling the pressure as much as you maybe thought you would have going into the Olympics. Can you talk us through that mental battle first, and then how that compares to collegiate athletics at ASU?
Yeah, so yeah, like the mental battle was like definitely there, like especially before the Olympics during staging camp. Like I was just trying to enjoy the moment, you know. I didn't really think of my races yet. I just did every single practice, and I kind of just went through the motions of what I needed to do, you know, how I ate, and then also like taking naps and just all of that. I only really thought about my race like the day before. That was like, okay, well, this is like, we made it, time to like actually perform and, you know, do my thing. But yeah, in that ready room, like I remember it was like semifinals of the 2 fly, and I was just thinking in the ready room, like, okay, there's like literally people in the world that are doing so many things that are way harder than this. So I was like, this is all I have to do is swim 4 laps. So I mean, come on now. And and that's like basically what I thought, like kind of every race, like, and that like calmed me down and like calmed my nerves, and it just made me perform to like the best of my ability. So that's how it is.
Do you do anything similar to that? Obviously, not to the same magnitude, but like competing collegiately here at ASU?
No, I just race for the fans. I'm just like, okay, this is really fun. You know, I know all of these guys, and it'll be really, really fun to race against them because I know how fast they are, and I kind of just race like for fun, you know, for the fun of it.
Hey, Coach, Max Pitt, Arizona's family. What resources over the course of the summer, and especially since the Olympics, has Graham and Dr. Crow given your program that you're trying to get you guys, not only fans in the building, but also just trying to get you guys just more media coverage? As it seems like even after all of that, it still might probably take time even as the season starts this week.
Yeah, there's been a ton. I mean, really, it's more of the questions that used to be always no, now are yes, or at least maybe, for things that we ask for and things that we need. Like they funded a trip for all of us to go to the White House. That was really cool. And he was at the Olympics, so he didn't get to go. But done that. It's been, I mean, they've been looking at our pool more seriously of like ways to renovate that, ways to make changes there. It's hard to nail down some just specific resources because Graham started as his job technically a couple days after I started, so I can't really compare and contrast too much. But they've been super open to, it's just been like an open line of communication supporting us, which has been incredible. And again, something I can't really compare too much to previous ADs or things like that. But I mean, I'm 100% sure that both Graham and Dr. Crow have our backs 100% and are going to do everything they can, which is really valuable knowing that there's about to be a lot of changes in college athletics. I think the most exciting thing is listening to Dr. Crow talk about it and talk about Olympic sports specifically, that it's a genuine like support from the just bottom of his heart, really, that he's going to do everything he can to help us, which is exciting for me in this program because there's a lot of doom and gloom around swimming and Olympic sports and the non-revenue sports, so to say. But he's pledged to have complete support there. So I'm actually pretty excited for the settlement and everything to come out because I think we'll come out on top of that in a lot of ways. Knock on wood. But yeah, it's been great, really, just the support they've had.
From competing and representing the country, now coming back and representing a school and a university, what is it like now adjusting back to competing collegiately and also keeping the team goals in the national championship?
It has been definitely a little bit tough now that our like top swimmers are gone, Leon, Hubi, a few of the others. But you know, I always tell the boys, or sometimes I try to tell them that like we can't. This will not bring us down, you know, and that we will keep competing, and like this school now runs on our backs, and now we have to perform to the best of our ability and try and win again, you know. But yeah, like coming back, you know, yeah, from my country, I think of like ASU is now my second country, I guess. a bit smaller, but but you know, and I want us to be on top. I still want us. I want this team to be like the best of the best, you know, and I'm gonna try and support it as much as I can, you know.
Gabby in the very top.
You mentioned having so many young guys on the roster. What is having Ilya, who's achieved such a high level of success, do for those younger guys? And Ilya, how do you go about kind of having that platform and taking on sort of mentorship roles for those younger guys? You mentioned having so many.
Yes. Is that for me? Or?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's both.
Okay. So, I mean, one, I think it's them just seeing him each day, like the speed in which he can go in practice helps a lot because it's all an environment and we make it really competitive. And like this morning, we were doing a bunch of underwater kick and he's going 8 seconds and they're going 10, 11. It's like, oh man, I have to get better at underwater kicking. And it's really just that whole environment that we have. And like he said, where Hubi, who's Olympic gold medalist, isn't our backstroker anymore. And we've got 3 or 4 guys who are below that, and seeing them already step up, like a guy Jack Wadsworth, who hasn't really done anything at the NCAA level yet, like at an NCAA championships, but has been training lights out, like worlds better than he ever has. I think that's what's cool about just a team really in general, because once somebody leaves, like it opens a huge door for somebody else, and seeing the guys step into that is really good. And then it's like going back to the experience of like, it just makes the trust in the process grow more when it's, oh, well, he went and won some Olympic medals. Like I can go best times. I can make progress to whether that's going to Big 12s, NCAAs, winning Big 12s or NCAAs, whatever those goals are. It's just goes back to the whole system and kind of how everybody's working. And yeah, that's something that him, and there's a lot of people who've already had success but are very hungry for more, just grows that.
I agree with everything Herbie has said. And the way I take these guys under my wing, you know, sometimes I show the freshmen, because some of them like do pretty stupid decisions sometimes. So I tell them this is not how a top college level like athlete performs. And so sometimes I do guide them. Like the other day, Quinn, one of our Quinn Sider, one of our sprinters, he's a freshman, and like he has troubles like taking naps or something. And then I'm like, okay, well, you have to like spread it out evenly throughout the day, or like try to get at least an hour, and like I just try to help him like that. And then the other guys, I tell them how to like how to eat properly and stuff. And then, you know, I try to give them advice. You know, I'm not also like the best at like let's say eating. You know, I'm not not healthy sometimes, but I try to make them the best to what they can be. You know, I like put like words here and there. You know, I don't like bug them every day, but you know, if I can give them advice, I will.
Fletcher. Hey, Ilya. Fletcher Anderson, Rocket News. Can you kind of just reflect on your Olympic experience outside of the pool? Like, did you stay in the Olympic Village, and what did you think of Paris?
Yeah, I did stay in the village, and you know, every like top athlete, I don't know, they all complain about it, but I'm like, dude, this is literally fine. Like the cardboard beds, sure they were rough, but like I got used to it like 2 days. Like it wasn't even that terrible. The food was a little bit like not too good, but it was like it was, I made it good. Like I was like, okay, here, let me just add this, and there you go, it's great. And it's nothing much to like if you just like find every little thing that's bad, yeah, your experience will be terrible, of course. But it's the way you go like about like thinking it. It was my first it was my first Olympic experience. So I was like, dude, this is awesome. And but I did stay in the village, and then it was just so fun, seeing other countries. It was amazing, and the bus rides were a bit rough at the beginning, but they got down to like, at first it started out with like an hour and a half because the bus rides kept getting lost, but it got down to like 30 minutes to the pool, which was good because like they finally figured it out, like, but it was like maybe like 3 days before my race day, so like I was pretty thankful for that. But yeah, that was like pretty much like the whole village experience.
Not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but do you think that'll be different in 2028 if you make it there when it's in LA rather than in Europe?
I feel like it should. Hopefully, America's pretty good at like doing such big things like that. So I think, I think it will be hopefully a little bit better, because I know the dorms aren't too far from the pool. So hopefully it'll be like 20 minutes. But I don't know.
Back to that. Coach, obviously, kind of looking ahead, your schedule, obviously there's some very well-known names. You have NC State coming to Tempe, going to Greensboro for an invitational, and then you go to Austin in January to face your former boss in Buffalo.
Yeah.
What experience is that necessarily really like to have necessarily those kind of matches on your schedule, and more importantly, how confident are you that this team can still compete for national titles when there is the NIL pumping into schools like Texas, like Florida?
Yeah. I mean, I think the best preparation, like if we want to be the best, we have to compete against the best. That's why we made the schedule that way. Like we changed conferences to where we could totally change the schedule, but I wanted to keep the hardest people on the schedule. And yeah, like competing against Texas, we're not going to turn that down because I don't have to say anything to get these guys all fired up at that one. So it'll be really good. And that's just kind of the way we've done it, and kind of how we've gotten to where we are, is that high standard all the time. And I think doing that early in the season to where we swim NC State in just about 3 weeks from now. So they're a team that's always really good at those dual meets as well. I think we are too. So it'll expose any weaknesses earlier, but then we'll be able to figure that out towards the end of the season. So I think it's the best possible thing. I'm confident in that, and that's what I'm also excited for. Is the it's Mike Tyson said everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the face, and they were going to get punched in the face a couple of times in these early meets, and seeing how everybody responds to it, because there is a difference between training and then being there right next to somebody who you really want to beat, who's somebody you might dislike, but that's what sports are. That's what makes it fun. So I'm definitely excited for all of them. I'm not sure what the outcome will be. I think we'll do pretty well. I know they're all really good too. But yeah, I'm just really eager to get started.
Hey, Ilya, how would you describe Herbie's coaching style?
Definitely a lot different than Bob's, but it is more a little bit more like sprint based, but like it's also working on different parts of like the stroke, like this morning we did like lots of underwaters, which is great for a 200, which is great for 100, and but like over the summer, like it was, sorry, I had to sneeze. It was good. We also did like lots of 200, pace to keep my endurance up for the 2 fly, but we also did like specific things like when I had to do specific strokes, like 16 stroke count for a 50 a long course, and for butterfly, and it really worked on like how I have to elongate my stroke, it has to be fast but also like long, and it is a lot different than Bob's, because Bob's was more like long just very long sets, designed to like, I don't know. I think it's just designed to keep your endurance up and stuff. But Herbie is kind of like half and half, and that's kind of like what I like. I feel like I really like improved my butterfly like over the summer, and I'm just gonna keep going.
Anything else?
Logan Stanley, Ilya, obviously you know greater success, but the Olympics are a different level. How did it impact your confidence moving forward for yourself?
Like just throughout the season.
How your confidence improved since the Olympics?
You know, I think it improved quite a bit. You know, I have like definitely like a bit of confidence every time like I race, like because I know my power level and stuff. But you know, it's not like oh, I can definitely go world record right now. Like it's not kind of that. It's not that high up, but it has increased severely. Like I have like some like confidence. Like if I race one of the top guys right now, I feel like oh yeah, I could probably beat them.
Hi, Herbie. I just wanted to know, what was like the hardest part in jumping in such a big role since Bowman's like one of the most reputable coaches in the country, but
Yeah.
all over the world? How have you adjusted to being a coach?
I guess it's hard to have a specific answer to that. I mean, I think the hardest part is the, like, I guess authenticity of that, and it's different when, and not that I've done it, but when you come into a place and kind of make it your own, as opposed to being a part of a place, and then it's kind of just given to you to be your own. It's the questions of like, okay, well, what should we keep? What should we remove? How do we do that in a way that builds upon what we've already done? That's been really good. And trying to keep it not necessarily like my way in the ego sense, but in the way that we've all kind of built it together. And that's been difficult, but certainly rewarding in that. And I think like it's exactly that, where we're like the most talked about team ever for a while. And I actually noticed it when we were at Canadian trials, where it was like, oh, finally I'll go to a different country, nobody knows who I am, they're not just going to ask, and everybody in there knew exactly like everything. So it's like, okay, this is way bigger than I thought it was, which is a really good thing. And yeah, in terms of now, when the I guess newness of that has kind of worn off, now it's just like, okay, what's going to be best for the team, not necessarily whose idea was, how's it, just what do we have to do to keep moving forward. And it was great being able to work with Bob and see the way he did things, but also like knowing, okay, there's a lot of things that I would do differently, and having the ability to do that has been fun. And now that's just the continual process of really revising how we do things and constantly changing it, but hopefully changing it in the right direction.
So on that note, what will be different with the way the program looks moving forward?
I mean, in terms of a lot of it has to do with training, I guess, and how we do that. And just I think that on the women's side of thing, having a big focus there and having that be something where we're trying to get them as competitive as possible also. I think they're in a really good spot. I think they've got really good relays, and I think we can have a successful season on that. And being willing to be the head coach who has high responsibilities on top end people, but be able to have some focus on the women. Not that they're not top end in themselves, but it's just a lot for me to do, and I just have to figure out really how to do that. And then it's that. I think there's a lot of things we can change in the way we'll do these meets, where we gotta got a beer garden and glow sticks in the stands. It wasn't something that I don't think Bob would be too much of a fan of, but I think it'll add a lot of energy to the just environment, which will directly impact performance. And that's where it goes back to the community, why it's something I'm really excited to do, because I was on this team. I remember when the team got cut, when it was pretty good, and then it was nothing, and then that's when I came and we struggled for a long time, and now it's good. But seeing the community that's been behind that the whole time, I think that's the most exciting thing. And going back to the question of NIL and things like that, I think that's what sets ASU apart from anybody, is that it's so much of just a commitment to this program, and we've always been behind on that. I mean, it was when I was on the team over Christmas break, if we didn't sell enough raffle tickets, the team was done. So that's like where it's been built from. So we've always had that struggle, in some ways like a chip on our shoulder of having to do it in a harder way. And that's the kids who want to come here are willing to do that, because it's not just flash or excitement. We have this new history of high performance, but before that, it's just been a history of grinding, really. And maintaining that while now mixing it with performance is, I think, something that can be really special.